Good morning, everyone. As always, I'm just going to give 10 seconds for a few more people that are still busy joining the meeting. There we go. Colleagues, it is now 9 o'clock sharp for this joint session that we have today. I just would like to, before we kick off, just touch on the, let's call it the menu or the agenda for the day. Firstly, I would like to, before we go to the agenda, just say that it's a joint meeting with a total of 4 committees today. So we've got the Mineral Resources Portfolio Committee. I welcome Chair Maglaule from the Mineral Resources Committee, then Honourable Ganso from Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs, and then 2 Honourable Shabane and the relevant committees from all 3 from the PC on Home Affairs, and will obviously give the relevant opportunity for everyone to make opening remarks. Before we kick off, I would like to ask whether we can move to adopt the agenda as is. May I ask that Babalwa just share the agenda for us? Thank you, Babalwa. Colleagues, can we move to adopt the agenda as is? Honourable Schikkerling.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to all the colleagues online. I move for the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Managa.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, and let me greet everyone who is in this platform. I raised my hand to adopt the agenda. To second the person who adopted the agenda. Thank you. I so move.
Thank you very much, Honourable Managa. I appreciate that. We then move to adopt the agenda as is. I'm now going to give an opportunity to all the relevant secretaries, starting with Babalwa that is flighting the agenda at the moment, so to share if there were any apologies. If we may then, followed by Babalwa, go to the Mineral PC, followed by Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs, followed by Home Affairs Secretary. Babalwa.
Good morning, Chairperson and members. I received the apologies from the Minister of Police. He's attending a cabinet meeting. Deputy Minister Matale, Deputy Minister Boishiela, they are out of the country for official government duty. The National Commissioner, and I also received the apology from Mr. Adams, and the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs will be attending the meeting. Will not be able to attend the meeting due to a long-standing commitments. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Babalwa. Can we move to the Secretary of the PC on Minerals?
Good morning, honourable members. From PC on Mineral and Petroleum Resources, I received the following apologies. Honourable Hassan, he's traveling abroad today. Honourable Zungula, he's got another meeting. And Honourable Mani will join this meeting for an hour and attend another meeting. And from the department, the DDG Moloto will represent the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We then move to the Secretary of the PC on Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs.
Good morning, members and colleagues in the platform. I received the following apologies. The Minister, Honourable George, Deputy Minister Singh, Deputy Minister Swartz, they are attending a cabinet retreat today. From the department is the DG, Ms. Shabalala. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. We then move to the Secretary of Home Affairs Committee.
Good morning, members. From Home Affairs, there is no actual apology except that there will be an early departure from the meeting by Honourable Ross. And also on the platform, there is a CFO from the Department of Home Affairs and Ms. Darcy from the Office of the Deputy Minister. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Those are the apologies then. I would like to now give an opportunity to the different chairpersons to each make some brief opening remarks before we then move to the briefing on the petition that is listed on the agenda by Honourable Clarke on behalf of residents that are calling for urgent implementation of an action plan to address illegal mining in Ward 92 in the city of Ekurhuleni in Gauteng. And we will then move to the next point regarding the briefing by the South African Police Service on the same issue, followed by a discussion. If I may start with the Honourable Chabane from the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs for some brief opening remarks. Chairperson, you're welcome.
No, thanks very much, and good morning, Chair and all the chairs, members of Parliament, and all stakeholders in attendance, the petitioners who are in the meeting. We are here to join a conversation on the issues that will be presented before this meeting. We've also requested the officials of Department of Home Affairs to join this meeting so that if there are directives that they ought to carry, the committee will be able to facilitate such. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chabane. I then would like to give the opportunity to the Honourable Khanso from the PC on Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs. Chairperson.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, and greetings to the members on the platform and also other stakeholders. Honourable Chair, as the Portfolio Committee on Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, we are deeply concerned by the growing problem of illegal mining, especially in Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Northwest and the Free State provinces. This issue is not just an environmental threat, but also a major factor in social unrest, as it enables criminal syndicates to destabilize communities and threaten other economic sectors, such as game reserves, farming, and forestry. Much of this illegal activity stems from a lack of compliance with the mine closure processes. When mines are not properly decommissioned and rehabilitated, they become prime targets for illegal miners, who often exploit these sites to access remaining resources. The environmental damage from illegal mining is severe and long-lasting, including soil, air and water contamination and water management, as it causes in the city of Ekurhuleni. As this Portfolio Committee, Honourable Chairperson, we are looking forward into these deliberations and also looking forward in also finding solutions into resolving the issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair. I then go to the Honourable Mahlaule from the PC on Minerals and Petroleum. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson Ian Cameron. Greetings to the other chairpersons, honourable members, the petitioners, and everybody who's online. We, as the Portfolio Committee on Minerals and Petroleum Resources, are very delighted that this joint meeting is finally taking place. You would remember we had a joint in the beginning of last year, where we had Police, Home Affairs. We did not have DFFE. And I still feel that there's one committee that is also relevant to the scourge of illegal mining, which is the Department of Justice. And the reason why Department of Justice would be important here is that most often than not, when illegal miners are arrested by police, who I must say are doing their best to make sure that we get out of this scourge. But because it needs a multiplicity of departments. When they arrest, somebody goes to court, they get 100 rand bail, but they are possessing gold-bearing materials that are worth millions. And we feel that the Department of Justice needs to come to the party and assist us in making sure that illegal mining is criminalized the way every crime should be criminalized in South Africa. So we're very happy that in the 6th Parliament, we lifted this issue. We made recommendations that all parties that are involved must be involved, and we would want next time to involve the Department of Justice. We look forward to the conversation and resolutions of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair. From my side, before we kick off, there's no denying the crisis that we're facing with regards to illegal mining. I was recently in the Northern Cape, and it's shocking to see how quickly illegal mines and miners have started developing in certain areas that up to until probably less than a year ago were just beautiful natural spaces. Whereas now the areas are significantly polluted, etc. So just from that point of view, I think there's quite a few things that we can speak of. The issues regarding people that are in South Africa illegally and that are also involved with this, and the role that it plays with the broader criminal architecture in South Africa in terms of illicit firearms, etc. Must also not be underestimated. If you look at the resources that are needed by the South African Police Service as well as the private security sector, it really has become a small-scale war in certain parts where illegal mining is very problematic. So I think this petition, but the broader issue serves, or everything that's been mentioned serves as a good example for what each of us can zoom in on and tackle during and after this discussion. I would now like to give the opportunity for the briefing on the petition by the Honourable Clarke on behalf of the residents, as said earlier. I would just like to check, Honourable Clarke, whether you are with us, and whether you are able to flight the presentation, or will it be flighted by one of the secretaries?
Thank you, Chairperson. I am online. I had discussed with the secretary and sent her the presentation in terms of the 2 councillors that are online that have been approached by the residents in my constituency. I would please ask your indulgence that they be able to participate, because I have to be at a health meeting at 9:30, and it's a very important meeting where we're getting the legal department to brief us on the tobacco bill as we finalise that bill. And being the spokesperson, it's important that I'm at that meeting. So I'm going to briefly speak about the petition, and then if you will indulge Councillor Wendy Morgan and Councillor Cade Guerrero, who's been approached by the residents, and this petition was handed to them in order for me to hand it to Parliament. So illegal mining in the East Rand has become an unbelievable issue. I mean, as you're well aware, that illegal mining is very prevalent because of it was a huge mining district over the years within that area. So, I mean, when I was at the legislature in 2014, I already came to the NCOP with a lot of issues presented at the NCOP in terms of illegal mining and the effects it's having on the residents there. And if I look at the period of 2014 up to now, it's really just got out of hand. I mean, it is unbelievable. People are actually not safe that live in those suburbs anymore, because they're surrounded by old mine shafts that have not been closed, and that criminal activity is affecting their lives on a daily basis due to this issue. So I thought I would just raise that as a huge concern. And I do believe that the Department of Justice needs to seriously be involved with this, because this must be seen, as a criminal activity, and there must be harsh penalties in terms of illegal mining and mines that do not comply to the Environmental Act in terms of closing up those mine shafts. Because what we see is, and Primrose Police Station takes care of this area, and they're just not equipped to actually deal with this issue at all. And questions to Parliament, to the Minister of Police, revealed that Primrose Police Station has the highest murder rate in the whole of the East Rand. And it's because there's such a huge activity in terms of illegal mining, and which is normally, you will find illegal people that are here, that have not been vetted legally in this country. And so Home Affairs also should play a massive proactive role in dealing with this matter. I attended a couple of years ago a workshop and a study tour in Tanzania, where they actually made small-scale mining legal and regulated that. And that was, I thought, an excellent idea, because it's regulated by government, and then the money stays within the country and benefits the economy and creates jobs. But the way illegal mining is managed in South Africa is just at a point where it's a complete crisis. So if that is okay with you, Chairperson, if we can get Councillor Wendy Morgan and Councillor Kate Guerrero to please motivate their petition, because it's their petition, which was sent to me to hand into Parliament, I would beg of your indulgence for that.
Thank you, Honourable Clarke. I don't see a problem with that. We will give the relevant time for them to share what they need to share. I think just in terms of time, it is now 9:15. If the other chairs agree with me, I think 30 minutes is adequate for such a petition to be covered, from where we will then be able to discuss further and go through the briefing by the South African Police Service. Honourable Skosana, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just wanted to say I'm happy to see Lieutenant General Mtombeni, because he's not easy to find. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Skosana. You must just know where to look for him. I'm glad you're happy, Honourable Skosana. I then invite the relevant persons with regards to the petition to please switch on their audio and video. We will allocate you 30 minutes. There was no objection from the other chairs to share your petition, from where we will then go to the briefing by the South African Police Service.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Am I audible?
Yes, Councillor, you're audible. We can hear you clearly. You're welcome to proceed.
Thank you so much. So firstly, good morning, everyone. It's Councillor Kate Guerrero, the Ward Councillor for Ward 92 in the city of Ekurhuleni. Thank you so much for the platform and the opportunity. So the community of Ward 92, together with Ward 36 in the city of Ekurhuleni, have done this petition. And the reason why is over the period of a number of years, our illegal mining is progressively getting worse. The challenge comes in is that within Ward 92, we have 22 areas, of which more than half of our community is affected by illegal mining. The biggest challenge is that we have an old mine shaft which has never been closed, and it has now allowed for the illegal miners to obviously take flight within the community. They're in the heart of one of our industrial areas, the Meadowdale area, where there is the main shaft, and there is also two surface mining where they are illegally mining. Now, the challenge comes in is that our community, not only that they are affected in terms of intimidation because the miners come very armed, it is also affecting us in terms of the blasting or the explosions that happen underground. And what is then happening is that this is also affecting the greater good of the community with tremors and damage to their properties. Now, Meadowdale as an industrial area, let alone that it obviously does importing and exporting, it also assists with mass employment within our economic sector. And we are, obviously deeply concerned because many of the big businesses, including Komatsu and PepsiCo, for example, are not happy and are wanting to relocate to other municipalities. And some have said that they are happy to even move back to their original countries, which means that it would be an economic, loss for us, and we would unfortunately have a lot of jobs lost. Now, from my side, I am not able to gain entry to where they are illegally mining for obviously many reasons, such as the safety aspect. But some of the local businesses, their security companies, have been able to send through videos and photos, which I have sent to MP Ms Clarke. I'm sure that she will be able to send it through to you, Chairperson, and you will be able to see the the scope of what is happening. It's a full-on operation. We've got plus minus 100 people, ranging from male, female, and children, and many of them obviously live in the shaft, and it's a 24/7 operation. Now, obviously, what makes this matter worse is the fact that they have tapped onto the city of Ekurhuleni's water and sanitation system. This is how they obviously do their washing of the gold or the minerals, which is negatively affecting the environment. And we've also got a nearby stream, which is where obviously all the remaining affluent makes its way into, which affects both city of Joburg and city of Tshwane as well, because the streams run through. So we are obviously, at a crossroads of what we do as the community. In terms of the policing, Bedford View Police Station and Primrose Police Station are the two that manage these two wards, and they've made it very clear to us that they are unable to assist us due to manpower, due to their type of ammunition, obviously getting to, site where the Zamazamas have got, huge, quantities of ammunition and really big weapons, which obviously, as per the photos that I've sent through, you will be able to see. So obviously our police stations have said that they can't help us. In terms of Ekurhuleni, they've said that it is outside of their jurisdiction, but they note with concern the state that this is that this is causing to the environment and obviously our residents. In terms of the Gauteng province, we've never received response from them, which is obviously a concern, because as much as today's petition is about one particular area, the entire province is hugely affected by illegal mining, and it obviously is a concern that we are not getting that assistance, and that is why we have decided to now come to Parliament to seek assistance. Now, in the neighbouring ward, we've got the old Primrose gold mine, which is obviously, it was decommissioned many years ago, but many of those shafts are still open, and I believe that is where the Zamazamas are gaining entry. The military have come there before. We've had big police operations there, but unfortunately, these Zamazamas keep on coming back. Now, I can't speak a lot for Ward 36. Councillor Wendy Morgan will do that. But on the Ward 92 side, it has also been said that most of these Zamazamas are illegally in South Africa. It is suspected that they are coming from SADC countries, and that obviously they are illegally in the country, which is also a crime concern within the community. And in terms terms of our crime has hugely increased, around the space that they are mining. Many of the businesses have said that their employees are very scared because they're intimidated while going to work or going home, because they obviously need to walk around where all these zamas are. And obviously one of our biggest challenges is let alone the safety aspect. We're also concerned as to where these people come from, where they're sleeping, what they are doing around our space. Now, the open spaces where they are mining are actually underneath Calvin power station, so Eskom power lines. And Eskom has said to us before that should there be a problem where a pylon had to fall over, it would mean that vast amounts of Johannesburg would not have power for months on end. Now, Ekurhuleni also has got cables, high voltage cables that are running between these zamas. And this is now the second time that my community has unfortunately had no power due to the illegal mining. Last month, the community of Meadowdale, Highway Gardens, Buurendal, Klopper Park, and Harmelia spent 14 days without power due to the or the suspected situation of the zamas hitting onto these cables. So, Chairperson, obviously from my side, I am pleading for assistance on behalf of the community, and I hope that the department and the relevant departments will acknowledge that we are having this problem and that it is not only affecting us, but it is affecting the entire Gauteng province. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I would like to ask whether there's another bit of input from, I understood from the Honourable Clarke that there's another councillor.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I can just add a little bit on. It's Councillor Wendy Morgan.
You're welcome, Councillor. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Councillor Guerrero has covered most of it. I just need to add on the Primrose side, the N3 highway is being affected by this.
A point of order, Chair.
Point of order.
A point of order, Chair.
Yes, I'm not sure who's raising the point of order.
It's Masaul, the Chairperson Masaul.
There we go, Chair. You're welcome.
You would note that the rules of parliament don't allow anyone to use a background of a political party, neither nor a regalia, and appear in our meetings. Can you please order that the councillor uses another background other than that of a political party? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Noted. And I see that she has switched off her video. Councillor, you're welcome to continue. Thank you, Chairperson.
Chair. Apologies, Chair. So the N3 highway, which is the main highway traveling from KwaZulu-Natal right through to Pretoria side, is being affected. It is starting to sink on the highway. So the zamas are actually digging underneath the highway, which is a high risk, and there are multiple secondary roads that are also being affected. The zamas are also digging where the main Eskom supply cable is coming in. 2 weeks ago, they did hit that cable, and it affects 6 wards when that Eskom cable is hit. So infrastructure is being damaged on a daily basis. The main supply cable to one of our substations has been hit 71 times since August last year. So, the safety of the community, infrastructure, business has been affected negatively, also threats of businesses moving out of the area. So very similar to what Councillor Guerrero has said, but we need to really make an effort here to prevent the damage that is happening to our infrastructure. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor. We will engage further during the discussion. But I'm going to now move to the briefing by the South African Police Service on the training and resourcing of police members for policing illegal mining activities in Ward 92 specifically, which includes Klopper Park, Highway Gardens, Buurendal, Harmelia in Germiston, in the city of Ekurhuleni in Gauteng. May I then hand over to the South African Police Service for the relevant briefing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. A very good morning to yourself, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee for Police, Ndate Ian Cameron, the chairpersons of other committees, Home Affairs, Minerals and Petroleum Resources, as well as Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. Let me also acknowledge the presence of the committee members, honorable members that are on the call. Chairperson, I am Lieutenant General Tibelo Musikidi. Let me also start by apologizing, Chairperson, by the naming of the device. Unfortunately, I have all the device that the department has made available for me, but both the iPad as well as the laptop are just performing this morning. I am connected on the cell phone, and I would love to apologize. And I tried to rename it, but I think it's that computer savviness that is at stake at this moment. Chairperson, with me, it's the acting head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, Lieutenant General St. Ngosi. I'm also having with me the Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng, Lieutenant General Tomi Motombeni, the acting Deputy National Commissioner responsible for administration or support services, Lieutenant General Dimpani. I'm also having with me the Divisional Commissioner responsible for detectives and forensic services, which is the acting Divisional Commissioner, Major General Mohali, the component head for medium risk combat team, which is Major General Nonhlanhla Zulu. I have just been informed that we have the head of training in the police, the principal of ensuring that the police officials are equipped and capacitated. That is Dr. Zulu. I'm also having the SAPS spokesperson, Brigadier Mati, the office of responsible for parliamentary liaison, Brigadier Michelle, as well as Brigadier Lidwaba. It's quite a handful of representation that is here, Chairperson, and I believe from Gauteng as well, the Provincial Commissioner is sitting with the head of the Hawks and his deputies in this regard. Chairperson, I am going to request General Mutombeni to take us through their presentation as it relates to some of the areas in Gauteng, and he will then take us through on what the police is doing in this regard. I have noted, Chairperson, I'm not sure if I have recognized as well Metlack, Ntate Ferrero, and Mewindi. Apologies, both from the area that is at discussion it's all about this morning. Chairperson, I want to indicate that we continue, Chairperson, to implement the strategies and the plans that we have developed from 2023 in December up to this point. We are still running Operation Valumkoti that has resulted in a lot of success stories that we can talk about since we have initiated this operation. This was the call from the CIC that we need to come as government and develop a plan. So it is a coordinated plan that involves all the department. I must say it does have the work streams that we have realized that in order for us to be able to succeed, we need the whole of government that will include all the departments that are incorporated in this plan or encapsulated in the plan, of which one of the work streams, which is the first work stream that we thought, if fully implemented, it will assist us. And these are the matters that has been raised by the three councillors that spoke before me in regards to the issues of human settlement, the issues of the environment, and so on and so forth. As a result, that particular work stream chairperson is led by the Department of Human Settlement as well as the Department of Minerals Resources and Minerals and Petroleum Resources. Work stream 2, it is in regards to policing, which is the proactive policing, which is what we are going to be talking to now, as well as the prosecution. So it encompasses everything from proactive to reactive policing, as well as the referral of the matters that are ready to court. In the particular work stream, it also involves the Department of Home Affairs and other departments that will assist in the law enforcement from the Justice and Crime Prevention cluster. We also have 2 other work streams that are looking at legislation, as well as the work stream that is looking at the communication and continuous community mobilization and education. I am coming up with this explanation, Chairperson, just to indicate to the committees that are here today that measures have been put in place, which were confirmed as well by Ndade Ferrero, that they have seen the work that we have been put collectively in these particular areas. However, the challenge persists, and we are going to continue to operate, Chairperson, as long as we have enough resources to do so. I must also indicate that this type of operations have been, we have looked at the long term plans that will be the provinces that are affected, will from time to time, when we have intake, at least receive a better percentage over and above the other provinces that are not affected. This is 7 provinces that have mining, and when the allocation is done by our administration or by the human resource, they look at least giving them more personnel just to cover this other demands that are happening. We also emphasize as the department that we should continue with our joints operations, both NAT joints and prof joints, which is the replica of the structure that is sitting at National Head Office, to ensure that they coordinate all the resources as well as all the departments that needs to assist in implementing this. So Operation Chanela is one of the operations that beyond and above the Operation Valumkoti needs to also in their own spaces look at this, to the extent that Gauteng as a province, because when we started this particular intervention was because of the issues of Nomzamo. I think again that Ferreira did indicated that the issue of illegal mining is not only affecting Ward 92 and 36, but it is the entire province where mining is happening. Chairperson, with that, let me request the colleagues to flight the presentation and take us through the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, General. More than welcome.
General Mutombeni will take us through, Chairperson, through you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, Chairpersons, Honorable members of Parliament, and of course, including Honorable Members Kosani, we could not meet as I was chairing the meeting on behalf of National for G20. It got finished very late. I'll say I apologize, but I hope sometimes we'll be in a position to can see each other. The councillors, the Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Musikiri, indeed, I can confirm that with me here, I'm with the provincial aide for the Hawks, General Kadwa, the DPC district. I have even taken the station commander to be present so that she have to be on board. Having said that, Chairperson, I would like to take the joint sitting portfolio committee on the presentation. If we can move to the next slide. The next slide is just a presentation overview. Chairperson, honorable members, there is a purpose for the presentation, training and resourcing, measures implemented to address illegal mining, challenges and recommendations. The next slide. We just reflecting the purpose of the presentation is to brief the joint sitting of portfolio committees on matters pertaining to address illegal mining in Ward 92 in Ekurhuleni, which is in Gauteng. Chairperson, we can move to the next slide. The next slide is about the background. We are outlining that illegal mining is predominantly by foreign nationals from Lesotho, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, which takes place in both abandoned and operating mines with illegal miners often operating under extremely dangerous conditions. Illegal mining can be categorized in two types, namely underground mining and surface mining. I'll just reflect on the two. The underground illegal mining is a method that involves mining of hard rocks from underground. And I should think I will not go deeper into detail in terms of that. Then the surface mining is commonly known as a cast mining, where soil and rocks overlaying the minerals are removed. This practice includes open pit mining and stripping mining. The root causes of illegal mining activities may be attributed to, amongst others, the following, of which most of us, we know, honorable members, chairperson: unemployment, criminal exploitation, syndicates, extending territories for financial gain, influx of undocumented person, mining sector, abandoned properties without rehabilitation, poor security at abandoned mines, porous borders at ports of entry, and of course, poverty. The next slide, we continue with the background. Here, we are just reflecting also to say why our appearing here, because of the petition. The petition submitted reflects specific areas experiencing challenge with the illegal mining. The policing of Ward 92 and the specific areas highlighted is, however, shared between different police stations as follows. Eden Vale Policing Precinct, which is Buurendal, Highway Gardens, and Himalaya. Bedford View, in terms of sharing of the police station, policing precinct is Klopper Park and Meadowdale. Primrose itself, as the petition is mainly on Primrose. Of this area mentioned above, only Primrose have been identified as an area prone to illegal mining activities. Though I must just indicate some of the mining holes might run through these other areas, But what we are saying only Primrose has been identified as an area prone to illegal mining activities and will therefore largely be the focus of the presentation. In addition, illegal mining within the broader Ekurhuleni district, as the district is serving a 39 police station, has proven to also being challenging specifically in the following policing present: Germiston, Benoni, Springs. We are saying since the 1st of April 2025, a total of 63 illegal mining operations have been conducted within the district of Ekurhuleni, of which 2 were provincial illegal mining operations. I must indicate that as a province, we having a special team for illegal mining. And that team is led by a Brigadier Joseph on a weekly basis. As I chair the accountability session, including the illegal mining, we put the operational metrics, and that operational metrics we determine to say which area must we concentrate or focus. As we know, in Gauteng, the illegal mining is on the main in Eastern Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, of which currently we're presenting Ekurhuleni, but the surface mining is also prevalent in Sedibeng. I must indicate that this team was working closely with the stakeholders, including the South African National Defence Force, as the approval was made through cabinet, but for now, the Defence Force is no more there. This operation includes deployment of the South African National Defence Force, as I've indicated, as it was approved through Parliament, but now that period has lapsed in terms of the approval. National intervention units, these are the units from National Head Office and the other law enforcement agency, as well as other government departments. For example, Department of Minerals, Petroleum Resources, the law enforcement local metropolis. During 2024-25, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, financial year, the Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources closed 170 mining holes, of which we have done these collaborations together in Benoni policing area and 34 in the Alberton policing area. A further 11 mining shafts within the Primrose areas were identified for closure during 2025-2026. I should think these are some of the aspects reflected by the councillors in terms of the mining holes, but we have dealt with this closure, I will say, in a multidisciplinary approach. Then the next slide, Honorable Chairperson, it's about the criminal value chain relating to illegal mining, which comprises of 5 levels as depicted below. The Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, known as the Hawks, they are focused on level 3 to 5. I must just indicate that on level 1, we are dealing with the individuals like illicit miners, mine workers, and level 2, some of the runners, those who are working within the illegal minings. And this level 1 and 2 is mainly dealt with the operations which I've indicated in terms of visible policing or disruptive operations. Level 3 is, it goes to a regional, which is dealt by the Hawks. Level 4 is a national bias. Level 5 is transnational. Maybe let me just quickly highlight in terms of level 3 to 5 that since April up until now, we were in a position to hit hard on the key actors of this illegal mining in terms of that level 3 to 5. For example, in Primrose itself, on the 27th of April 2025, we had a forfeiture order which was granted for cash seize over 3 million. In terms of that, we had a privatization order granted for gold value over 785,000, cash value over 550, of which the money was earned through when we facilitated Section 252. And furthermore, during April, we had 3 suspects arrested in Boisens, of which it might link to other areas, your Benoni, to a certain extent, Primrose. These suspects were found with 3.75 kg of gold worth 5,700,000 grams of platinum worth over 500,000, a cash to the value of 5.12 million was also seized. And lastly, in May 2025, we arrested 2 suspects where the activity in terms of a serious and organized crime investigation within the Hawks, they had a chase of the suspect as they had an information towards Kempton Park, find 80 gold bars worth 16 million, and the car which they were using, which is an expensive car, was also seized to the value of 1.5 million, just to give that background. If we can move to training and resources, we are depicting there underneath training and development. Currently, there are no training courses available which are specifically designed to develop and equip members, though I must say I have engagement with the human resource development that there is a development in terms of training for these members, but there is no course which have been presented and of which we have put an additional needs from the province, as we spoke during pre-briefing with Lieutenant General Zulu, the doctor, to say we have to filter this training in terms of identifying these minerals, but not necessarily underground or going underground, because what is important is that these activities, they are carried underground in the mine. Human resource capacity, staffing levels against the approved post-establishment at the specific police station is reflected below, with an indicating of the new entry-level allocation made to the station to augment its human resource. On the far left, we are just reflecting staffing level, new entry levels for 2024-2025, of which Ekurhuleni overall staffing is 86.88%, with that additional workforce which has to be allocated across the district. As I've indicated, the district is serving 39 police stations. Edenvale is 82.76%, with additional of 2. Bedford View 85.19%, with 5 additional. Primrose as the station in terms of the profile there, 75.56%. We added numbers there in terms of a distribution of the workforce for 2024-2025 entry level 7, as we have to take care of the other police station within 39 police stations. The next slide, it's vehicle fleet, the capacity in respect of vehicle fleet, with a specific reference to the operational environment of the highlighted stations are as follows. We also depict here in terms of resourcing, in terms of vehicle, district overall 119.18%, with here we're reflecting the new allocation 2024-2025 and 25-26, of which is reflected thereof. Edenvale, in terms of vehicle resources, is 124%, with a reflection of the allocation for 24-25 as of the year. Bedford View is 92%, with that reflection of 1 for year 2425. And Primrose, with a vehicle fleet thereof, it's 133%, with a reflection of 1 vehicle. If we can move to the next slide. This, again, the next slide is a measures implemented to address the illegal mining. On this slide, we are reflecting what we are doing in terms of the 5-pillar approach is adopted to address and combat illegal mining within the identified prioritized policing prisons in Gauteng. Basically, the 5-pillar approach is just to indicate that the first pillar is the intelligence, which relates to intelligence gathering, of which I will slightly reflect after I've indicated these 5 pillars, exactly what is happening with the intelligence gatherings. Pillar 2 is a proactive, which is an approach of high visibility deployment. And of course, pillar 3 is a combat approach, which we mainly put a rapid response, a hardcore approach, which include the National Intervention Unit, as I've indicated. Pillar 4 is a reactive approach, which is detection, tracking. And of course, this approach also includes the DPCI known as the Hawks. Pillar 5 is communication and liaison of whatever we're doing. We can move to the next slide. I will not necessarily present entirely what is contained. I will just, on pillar 1, as it relates to intelligence gathering, analysis, coordination in support of pillar 2 to 4, I will just outline the process flow instead of reading the entire what we have put in terms of the presentation. On this pillar 1, what we are doing here is identification and profiling of a criminal grouping, syndicate, repeat offenders, individual associated or associates involved in illegal mining activities within the criminal value chain in support of the detectives and the DPCI, which is ultimately part of these pillars. They are seated in pillar 4. And as I said, I will not elaborate too much on that one. Then pillar 2, next slide, is a proactive approach, which is a high visibility. I will also outline the process flow here to say on pillar 2, we are doing targeted, as we get the information from pillar 1, targeted and informed deployment of operational resources to execute operation aimed at the arrest of illegal mining and the removal of the equipment utilizing illegal mining. As I've indicated, this approach is mainly used for disruptives for pillar 1, for level 1 and 2, in terms of those levels which I have reflected there. I've indicated we're having a dedicated team in Gauteng which deals with illegal mining week in, week out, and in a week we are in a position to execute not less than 2 operations within those affected areas. And this team for illegal mining is not including the Operation Shanyala 2, which is led by the provincial commissioner in terms of Operation Shanyala, because when we are in a Primrose, and then we also deal with the issues of illegal mining. Pillar 3, the next slide is a combat approach, rapid response, and hardcore approach. I'll also outline the process flow here. Here we also conduct observation, waylays in affected areas so that we can be in a position to address some of those people like some of the issues, you'll find that these illegal miners, they are having people who are guarding the main holes there. We will be in a position to can address those people. And normally those people, they are armed, and we address them by means of the waylaying and then to check whether these things they do happen. And we put action by means of a swift response to all, also to all incident in progress in order to apprehend the offenders of the crime. And moving to the next pillar, it's pillar 4, reactive approach, which I've indicated is detection, tracking, and case management by our detectives and the DPCI known as the Hawks. I'll also outline the process flow on the main. Just there on the first line, it's effective crime investigation management through those issues which we have reflected, for example, to ensure that we have integrated effort of detectives and forensic capabilities. We include them. Forensic service provides support at the crime scene in terms of those issues. But the other thing which they do there in terms of this other point, which is reflected investigation of cases. This is mainly the investigation which they undertook after these cases have been open. But on the other hand, when you look on the second last point there, it says establish organized crime secretariat and conduct OCTA-driven project investigation. In other words, we do a bottom-up approach from the stations to the district, which we call DOCS, District Organized Crime Secretariat, which pushes up until POCS, and NOCS, which is a National Organized Crime Secretariat, where the projects are led and make sure that they are registered to deal with that in conjunction with the DPCI, the Hawks, because they mainly deal with level 3 to 5. Then we're moving to, once more again, that pillar there, we're emphasizing the issue of the DPCI, the Hawks. They are also part of pillar 4 as they conduct the investigation, concentrating on level 3, which I've said is regional, level 4 is national, and level 5 transnational for those offenses which relates to the mining. I've even depicted some of the examples there in relations to illicit mining offense, which might include illegal export, import of precious metals, diamond, and the chrome. Can move to the next slide. This is pillar 5. Pillar 5 on the main is communication and liaison, which is driven by our communication. This is on the main internal and external communication of what we are doing. In other ways, also interlinking with the community. For example, on the 27th of July, I was in Benoni for Shanyela operation, of which I was on the mine site where these 170 holes were closed. After the operational activities and also dealing with those issues there on the ground, I think we managed to arrest 6 there because those holes are closed, but these people, we find them that they are back in there because of some other reasons. We find that those areas, they are not secured. As we finish with those operational activities in terms of communication, we moved to the communities. We have community in Bizo, interact with the community. So I was within the communities which is affected with those areas and have a community engagement and hear what is that, what we can do to work with the community to ensure that they are and feel safe. Then the next slide. It's furthermore the measures implemented to address illegal mining flowing from the activities in the 5 pillar. The following operational activities with reference to provincial, as I've indicated, we have got the team, also the district. they have a district-led illegal mining operations were executed in Primrose area since the beginning of the current financial year, which is April up until August. The illegal mining operations for provincial, it was two within that, I will say within Primrose and also Ekurhuleni. And I say this does not include Operation Shanyela. I know for the fact I was in Primrose on the 21st of August, though it was a night operation, but I was in that space of illegal mining. I've seen some of the owners, they've tried to secure or to close those areas with the containers where this illegal mining, they were having access, and now they're having a limited access thereof. So we had two there. The district had 6. We move to the next slide, which is again measures implemented to address illegal mining. In Primrose from April to August are as follows. This operation yielded the result in terms of illicit mining operations. We had, of course, 29, and then illicit mining awareness campaign, 6, as I've indicated, as and when we also having the Shanyela operations, we also go to the communities. Like in Primrose, I was at Makausi, interacted with the communities at one stage in that specific area in terms of a community engagement. Visit to the mines or diggings, 29, searches conducted at mines, 29. Next slide. Successes achieved in respect of arrest made during the operations mentioned for the period 1st April up until 31st of August. As I've said, those operations on the previous page yielded the results. In Primrose, undocumented persons arrested, 251, illegal dealing in liquor, 29, drug-related crimes there, 188, and in Primrose, possession of firearms and ammunition, of which we have arrested individuals there, 39 of these possession of firearms and ammunition, which gives us a total of 507 for that period. As we continue with the measures implemented to address the illegal mining, here is when we execute those operations which I've reflected there, we ultimately confiscate some of the tools of trade. Confiscation done during the execution of illegal mining operations for the period April 2025 up until August this year. Item confiscated, firearms 38, vehicles 15, control metal, for example, aluminum, brass, copper, and grams 900, precious metals, example, gold, gold dust, diamond, platinum, as I've given some of the example, for example, there in Boisens, which might be interrelated to that, to say we got, for example, this gold, 3.75 kg, which worth over 5 million. But this one is specifically for Primrose, precious metal gold, I say 27,015 gas bottles, which I use on the surface mining for processing there, 26 commercial explosive. I also try to get exactly what is this on our SAP 13. This is the set of explosive gels, which you find them in a bulk as and when we were operating. We got this, then we called our crime scene management criminal record center to handle them. Pendukas, these are on the main, used on the main surface, 174. Stampers, the stampers which they use, 7 steel pots, crushers. We got 8 there. If we can move to the next slide, challenges experience. operational. We're saying policing of illegal mining activities in respect of the South African Police Service members, the level of training in identification of the raw material, as I've indicated that the training have been developed as a province. We're making a submission in terms of additional training, which we have to look into that, though it hasn't been presented. We hope that it will be presented. Inherent risk of members going underground in search of the perpetrators. We know for the fact that the South African Police Service is not trained in terms of going underground. Law enforcement and security personnel are expected to respond to incident in an unfamiliar terrain, exposing their personal safety and increase vulnerability to armed attackers. But as I said, that the waylays in terms of national intervention, in terms of the tactical response team, our TRT, they do these waylays in order to mitigate some of these issues of unfamiliar terrain and the people who are guarding the holes. The other challenge is neglect by mining houses, companies, in securing properties where mining activities have ceased. Like, for example, I indicated I was in Benoni where 170 of those holes were sealed. Initially, that place, it looked like an informal settlement for processing center, but now it's clean. But because that area is not taken care of in terms of securing these illegal miners, they come and that space is not guarded. Public violence associated with illegal mining requires a diversion of resources from classical policing functions. Poor environmental design in respect of lighting and road infrastructure in informal settlement with a specific reference to Makausi. As I've indicated, Makausi is there in the Primrose. I was there engaging with the community as well. The airport, Rasta, Marathon, and Marathon settlement. Influx of undocumented foreign nationals who are mostly involved in illegal mining, but I indicated that on slide number 19, we have arrested 251 of those illegal immigrants. Continuously blasting underground by illegal miners, causing crack and damages to residential houses, of which have been covered by councillors. Illegal connection of water, electricity by illegal miners, placing strain on municipality infrastructure. I must just indicate that in August, we managed to have 2 cases open for cable theft. In one case, we have arrested 3 of the suspect. In another case, 1 of the suspect, which is a total of 4. The cases have been placed on roll. They are to appear in court in October. Both cases have been postponed to October. Constant tough wars between illegal miners underground, resulting in an increase in murder cases, as some of the councillors, as the councillors have alluded to that. The next slide, challenges, experience. We are saying strategic area here, reputational damage of the South African Police Service surrounding the man of dealing with illegal mining and its consequences, more so because we are unable to get inside. And for example, when you go to some of these illegal mining space, I have been in Makausi. When you get there, you find that these people are mining and then they dash or they run into the underground. When they run into the underground, we could not even apply other tactical means because the hole itself, you'll find that the shack is just on top of that hole. And ultimately, at the end of the day, these illegal miners, they run underground, going to other areas or exiting to the other areas, not necessarily on that areas. Increase in the children in conflict with the law due to the high number of youth involved. Though with us, we don't often find it, but we know for the fact that in Northwest, in terms of activities, there were quite a number of minor children, those who were involved, those were from SADC. Increase in illegal trade of equipment, explosive, which are utilized in illegal mining. Though from time to time we get them, but we also link up with the Criminal Record Center crime scene management in terms of inspecting those areas, which we know for the fact they are storing these explosives or manufacturing thereof. Destruction of the social fabric of communities leading to increased levels of crime, increase in expenditure relating to the deployment of a specialized SAPS capabilities or capacities like the national intervention in combating and the investigation of illegal mining. As the Deputy National Commissioner have reflected that our own teams, we trying to deal with that in terms of dealing with that. Impaired relations with SADC countries whose citizens are involved in illegal mining and bearing the brunt of local communities. This one is a well-known one, porous borders leading to an increase in flux of undocumented foreign nationals. And we move almost to the last slide. It's recommendations. The recommendations, we are reflecting, addressing poor environmental design by the City of Ekurhuleni to enable effective policing. Though we have, with the station commander with the district, during the meeting held with Councillor Jeffrey Mtembu, Ward 93, with specifically saying Ward 93 because Ward 93 as well is partially linked to Ward 92. On the 17th of July, it was indicated that the informal settlement is situated on a private property, making it difficult for the city to provide municipal services on private-owned land. Then we're saying improved enforcement of applicable legislation by relevant government department. For example, the bylaws has to be re-emphasized and the other government departments has to take a role in terms of doing what is necessary in terms of illegal mining. And also, though we work closely with the Department of Petroleum Resources or Home Affairs, but there has to be more effort which has to be put in there. Improved coordination, cooperation with the Department of Justice and the NPA. As we know, these cases, they appear before them. Enhance the capacity, skills of members involved in the proactive, reactive sphere of dealing with illegal mining. Though I indicated that not trying to go underground the mines. Mining houses to take responsibility for the following: rehabilitation of unused mine after ceasing of the operations to minimize the risk of illegal mining. Like what I've indicated in Binoni is clean, that place is clean, you can see well sealed, but these people, they are coming back. Ensure that the land property space is fully secured with fencing, electrical fence, and manage the access control is almost similar to that other issue. Employ private security services to guard and patrol their properties and areas of operation to minimize opportunity for illegal miners from invading their land and space or properties. With that said, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Chairpersons, Honorable Members, I submit.
Thank you very much, General. Apologies, is someone trying to say something?
No, thank you, Chairperson. I was handing back to you, Chairperson. My apologies. I also forgot to acknowledge Chair. I thought General Sintumule, who is the acting Deputy National Commissioner responsible for detection, is attending another portfolio committee. She is also in our midst. and the committee members, joint committee members, Advocate Muloto and Chair. I think I also heard that DG Shabalala is also in the meeting. These are members that form part of that broader plan, as well as the continuous meetings that we are having, getting the reports in respect of this illegal mining operations or Operation Valumkoti. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me hand the ropes back to you.
Thank you very much, General Musikile. Appreciate it, and General for the Tobeni for the presentation. I would like to ask and open the floor for the discussion and for any relevant input. If I can get a show of hands, then I will list those. I would like to ask colleagues that we manage our time, so please stick to let's say 5 minutes to begin with, and don't ask too many questions in order for everything to actually be answered. So please prioritize the questions. I've noted the Honourable Schikkeling, the Honourable Reverend Meshwe, the Honourable Matthys, Honourable Selepe, Honourable Managa, Honourable Zondi, Honourable James, Honourable Klangwini, and the Honourable Mukwena. If I may start with the Honourable Schikkeling.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning once again to all the colleagues. Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a few questions, but before I start, I just want to say that I recently visited the Bedford View Police Station, and I was incredibly shocked at the bad state that that police station is in, and the accessibility to the police station and the grounds of that police station. I really do feel that, considering that that police station is in a major central area and serves literally thousands of people, that police station gets the necessary attention that it deserves. Chairperson, the following questions I have. The SAPS admitted that there was no training courses specifically designed to equip members on illegal mining. Now, we know illegal mining is not only indicative to one province. There's several provinces that have illegal mining issues. How can the SAPS claim to effectively combat a highly organized transnational crime network without specialized training for its members? That doesn't make sense to me at all. When will such training be developed, and when will it be rolled out? Then the presentation highlighted insider threats, police corruption and collusion by security companies, and we do know that there's several security companies that are involved in illegal mining. It is something that we should take up with CIRA too. But what concrete steps has the SAPS taken to investigate and prosecute corrupt officers implicated in illegal mining syndicates, and how many have been arrested and disciplined in the past year, please? Then between April and August 2025, the SAPS reported 507 arrests in Primrose linked to illegal mining operations. How many of these arrests have led to successful prosecutions? And why is there such a huge gap? There's a persistent gap between arrests and convictions across the board, but it seems to me that mining really is a problem. Then they have noted neglect by mining houses in securely abandoning mines, and that recommends rehabilitation and security measures. What is the Department of Mining doing to rehabilitate and make sure that these mines are secured so that the illegal mining does not take place? And then how does the SAPS coordinate between the Department of Mineral Resources to enforce this compliance? Because obviously compliance must take place. And my last question is that the SAPS has identified porous borders and transnational syndicates from Lesotho, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe as a root cause, and we know that it is a problem across our country. But what is the SAPS doing differently to intercept the flow of weapons, explosives, and undocumented migrants that are fueling the illegal mining? And how have they strengthened cross-border intelligence sharing with SADC countries? Thank you very much.
Honorable Reverend Meshwe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, and greetings to all chairpersons and all the stakeholders. Firstly, I want to thank the police for that presentation. When I think it was Councillor Kade who said when they go to police stations to report illegal activities around them, they are told that they go to police stations, they are told that they are unable to help. Now, when a person goes to a police station, they are told the police or that station is unable to help. Where should complainants and members of the communities go? Because when people feel unsafe, the best place to go to is to a police station. Now, when they are told they are unable to help, what does that in essence say? And is the top management aware that there are stations that tell members of the community that they cannot help them? To leave people all in their problems by just saying they are unable to help them is totally unacceptable. And I want to know what the top management will say in response to that. And my next question has to do with the licensing that is given to mining companies. We expect, obviously, that commitments to take responsibility for the mine that is operating has to include when that mine is not operating anymore, they should take responsibility for closing down the shafts. And we hear often that shafts are not shut down, they are not closed. So what I want to know is that does government feel helpless when mining companies leave holes and shafts open? Do they feel helpless? Do they have an attitude of we can't do anything or we can't force these companies to take responsibility? Because I do not understand why strict penalties, harsh penalties are not imposed on the mines. Because before these companies are given the license, there must be such agreements. Now, if there are such agreements, are we given the impression that the penalties are not imposed or they are very lenient, they are not taken seriously? And obviously, if government wants these mines to be, wants this company to take responsibility, they should take legal action. They must find ways that the communities will know that government is doing their best. But we don't hear much about these companies being taken to court to force them to do what they promised that they would do. My third question has to do with Operation Valamgodi. I want to know how successful is this Operation Valamgodi? Are the police able to give us statistics of their successes, of how many shafts and holes they have closed, particularly the last financial year, so that we can tell whether they are indeed successful or they are not successful. The holes under this operation, Valamgodi, that are still open, have they been reopened after they were closed, or are the police really successful in closing these holes? Then my last question is that the unused mines in particular, and the damage they do to communities with their blasts, are these companies informed and also forced to do repairs to the houses that have been damaged because of their work and their activities? And if not, obviously, are the poor people in those communities helpless? Are they left on their own? And are these companies going to make money and then leave with houses with broken windows and cracked walls and so on? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Reverend. Honorable Matthys.
Chair, good morning. Good morning, honorable members, and good morning to the SAPS officials that have made this presentation. You only given me 5 minutes. I'm already at 4:45. Chair, it's hard. So quickly, Chair, number one, I think it is so unnecessary that we even have to establish a team in SAPS that has to deal with illegal mining. Yesterday, we had a presentation with transport that has to deal with train stations. Like, it's either that we have no political will or there's no organizational will, or we are just incompetent. We can't even guard a train station. Now, we cannot even guard mining houses. And I'm saying all this is that everything else that is happening with this illegal mining comes down to one thing. We have a government, and Rev has made it very clear. Actually, he stole the words out of my mouth, but he put it very nicely. And I'm going to be a little bit more harsh. We have a government who allows mining houses, and mainly foreign mining houses, to come into our country, rape our resources, and then run away. We should not even be in the situation of even having to bring the walks in. They've got better things to be doing than trying to track down little amounts of metal and diamonds and stuff that is leaving this country. So if we had a government that was serious about this, those mining, and we should actually have had the Department of Mineral Resources here to come and explain why are they still issuing mining licenses to these same mining companies that have closed mining shafts and they have not completed their job. And if anything, the police and the Hawks should come in and say, you haven't completed your charter. The mining charter, you were given a license based on this. These mining companies, these mining holes, whatever it is, are not closed. The direction here, I don't have that many questions, and maybe SAPS and also the Hawks can speak to it, is that speak to us more or less how many of these mining houses have been closed. Do we have a list of the mining companies that have abandoned these mines or closed these mining companies, and who has not done their jobs? And they must be charged. There's directors of those companies. Some of them are still operating. They've moved on. And we've issued them new licenses to go and rape our country resources in another place. So the Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede, he must go and revoke those mining licenses of any mining company right now that is operating and that has not fixed up these mining houses. And we won't have any problems. Those things must be sealed, they must be closed. And then we also need to fast track the issue of small scale mining. And that is another issue, but it's not something here for the police to do. And we would not need to even have this committee and have this presentation if we held those mining companies responsible. And I don't know what is wrong with this government. I do not know why those mining companies are not named and shamed and why they are still being issued mining licenses because of corruption. That's what it is. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Matthijs. You still have a minute and a half, Honourable Matthijs.
No, I could see how you were looking at me, Chair. I thought, let me just wrap up because I can just talk too much. But now I've covered, and thank you. And Rev covered me pretty much on anything I wanted to raise. Thank you, Chair.
100%. Then I will move to the Honourable Selepe. Honourable Selepe, you're muted.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Allow me to switch off my video. I'm showing that I'm not a robot. Then I will continue.
We want to see your face, Honourable Member.
No, thank you very much. I'm in Parliament. You'll see me here. Thank you very much, Chairperson. First, let me start on this point of the commercial explosive. Someone who's not in the position of a CTP cannot be able to access the explosives. And then I want to check, because the police are the one who is issuing the CTPs for people who are competent to handle the explosives. And then my question will be, the reference number, because no one who's in the position of CTP can be able to access the explosives, a single one. It can only be a criminal activities that can want a person who's holding the CTP buying one explosive. That means that one CTP, that one explosive, it has the reference number that leads to it's linked to the CTP of that particular somebody who gave this illegal miners the explosive. I think that one, we need a detailed report that will show everything, that who gave these people with the reference number on the explosive. It is linked with the CTP number of the owner of the CTP. We need the detailed report on that one. We don't like upload that has been classified only. We need to know who sponsored them with the CTP to access this explosive.
Okay, who's able
Two,
to do that?
Chair, I think there's someone who's not muted.
Apologies, Honourable Selepe. I just want to check and everyone make sure that they are muted. Apologies about that. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. On the issue of blasting, Chairperson, I think a detailed report and evidence can be provided that shows the area, the residential area where the blasting was conducted next to the residential area. We need to know the detail, even the aerial report of the drone. It can give us the evidence that the value of houses in that particular area, so that we don't reflect as if it's just a residential house. We need to know the value of those houses that are created by these illegal minings. Then, Chairperson, I think it is important that the Department of Home Affairs can assist us with the policy that can, migration policy that can address this issue of foreign nationals that have been arrested in the country and then been granted the bail with the judicial department. And then we want to know how best can they integrate so that these people, they can rather be blacklisted in the country or whatsoever. But we need something that can address this thing permanent. If illegal foreigners has been arrested, there should be no bail or something ought to happen. We need to get to know the migration policy and with the laws of the country, how best can these two work together so that we can make this thing to be permanent. Not we arrest them this week, 2 days later, they're giving a bail of 500, and then they are going back to underground. We need to understand how best the migration policy can address these issues. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Selepe. I then move to the Honourable Managa.
Thank you so much, Honourable Chairperson. Let me first thank General Mtombeni for the detailed background that he gave. Honourable Chairperson, the root cause of the ongoing illegal mining is the fact that the old mining shaft in Meadowville has not been closed. No matter how many policing operations are conducted per week, for as long as the mining shafts remain open, illegal mining will persist. This places an unsustainable burden on SAPS resources and exposes residents on businesses to ongoing crime, violence, and environmental destructions. The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy must therefore take an urgent action to close the shaft and rehabilitate the site. Coming to the Operation Valum Koti, Chair, we just want to find out if there's a concrete plan to include Meadowdale shaft under this operation. So if there's a plan, what is the timeline, budget allocated, and implementing agents for closing this shaft in particular? There's an issue also of the rivers that are being contaminated by the chemicals that are coming out from those shafts. We just want to find out what is the plan in making sure that, those are no longer happening. I won't ask some of the questions because I was covered by the Reverend and also by Honorable Mateis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Managa. I then go to the Honourable Zondi.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm going to ask not to show my face as I am in a by-election in rural KZN and the network is not very good this side. Chairperson, my first question is with regards to there are illegal miners which actually participate as ghost workers for established companies. Now, how does this happen? When mining companies, when the demand is down, they usually let go of some workers. But in order to boost production, there are rumors that there are companies that will hire Zamazamas to come and work at night as ghost workers to be able to keep up with production with lesser costs than actually hiring real miners. So I just want to ask if there are cases like this that the SAPS is aware of and what is being done about that. The second one is with regards to a specialized unit within SAPS that will deal with illegal mining, because illegal mining does need certain expertise that the police may not have, especially when you look at going underground. It becomes very dangerous for police, for normal police officers to undertake such activities. So it's very clear that an different unit does need to be established in order to actually deal with that particular issue. In fact, in South Africa, there's only one company that deals with rescue services in terms of underground mining. So it's very clear that there is a need for that. And I also wanted to ask with regards to the training for the police officers who actually have to deal with illegal mining, who actually does this training, if the South African Rescue Services, Mining Rescue Services, if they are also involved, because they have the technical expertise. They might not have the footprint across the country to deal with every particular issue, but in terms of technical expertise, they do have the expertise to actually provide that training so that the SAPS can be able to conduct these operations successfully as well as safely. So those are my only two questions, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Zondi. I then go to the Honourable James.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Good morning to everyone on the platform. To General Mtombeni, thank you so much for an enlightening presentation. You know, in this country, one needs to empower yourself with all types of things. Number one, I want to ask, and just indulge me, I know very little about mining. How are these holes closed? When you mentioned several times that these holes has been closed, who closes them? How are they closed, and what are the penalties that's being imposed, right? You also mentioned, General, that 507 arrests have been made. Can we get a breakdown of the status of these arrests? What were the outcome of all of these cases? My next question is mining houses. I saw on your presentation you speak to mining houses where melting takes place. First time I heard of this, right? What happens to these properties and where are they allocated? Are you monitoring them? And how many have you identified in that specific municipality, right? We all know that this type of crime, any crime, should be reported at your local SAPS. But definitely a specialized and designated team needs to be activated and to respond. When it is reported, and since you said earlier on that our SAPS members are not trained, what is the response time to when these explosives are going off? Also, what type of explosives are being used here? What is the risk on residents? Has it been analyzed? The crack in walls, who compensates these residents? Does it get reported further? Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable James. I then go to the Honourable, I think it's Slangwini.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to the generals for the presentation. Chair, I just want to find out, maybe perhaps I may have missed it at the beginning of the meeting. Why have we not invited the Department of Mineral Resource and Petroleum, or maybe perhaps even a regional manager of in Ekurhuleni or that area that are responsible in that area? And I can state why I'm asking this, because we're going to pose questions, and there are questions that the police won't necessarily be able to answer. And this is a very crucial and important meeting and engagement that would have needed as well regional managers that are responsible for that area within the department to respond to some of the issues. If they are here, maybe perhaps I have missed them in the introduction. Good and well if they're here. If they're not, I want to know why they are not here. And maybe they should also get a platform to brief us. And then on the report of the police, last time when you presented to us on illegal mining, the department you have mentioned you have identified 34 holes. And the department last time have identified that they can only close 3 holes per financial year. So how are we going to deal effectively with this other open holes? Because I have identified 34 holes that needs to be closed, which you say 11 is going to be in the process, but the department have given an indication with their budget, they can only close 3 holes per annum. So how are we going to effectively deal with that? And then I want to agree with our MMC in Johannesburg that states that we need to call these mining houses. It's not true that these mining houses are ownerless. We have given a license to specific individuals, and those individuals needs to be followed to the T to ensure that they are doing the rehabilitation and successfully so. Because it's our communities that are struggling and suffering when these things are not closed. Because now we are sitting here today discussing illegal mining. Had those mining houses done their responsibility in terms of closing these mining holes, we wouldn't have been having this discussion with people going in, reopening these mining houses and do illegal mining. And there's a market for it. So it means that our crime intelligence to track and trace where these individuals are selling these minerals are failing. And we're not getting a due report in terms of our crime intelligence in this country and how they're going to properly combating. Because we are being told now that there's not effectively training to combat all of this illegal mining and the type of weapons that these people are having. So how are we going to even track and trace the explosives that these individuals are using? And it has been proven here by the Honorable Selepe that these explosives does have serial numbers and they do get issued out to mining houses. So how are we as well going to ensure that these explosives doesn't make it out into illegal trade? Because these individuals do get these explosives from somewhere. They do get the weapons from somewhere. What is our crime intelligence doing in order to combat this illicit flow of these weapons and explosive? And then lastly, we need to know as well the budget in closing, because the SAPS have identified 34 holes. What is the budget for closing those 34 holes? If they can enlighten. I'm taking from the honor of our DS Jesus minutes chair, because she have left me with 1 minute. So what is the process and the budget of closing that 34 holes? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I then go to the Honourable Mokoena.
Thank you very much, Chair, and greetings to everyone on the platform. And let me take this opportunity and appreciate the presentation from SAPS. Given the reports of frequent underground explosion causing damage to home and distress among residents of Primrose as a result of illegal mining operations, what plans are in place to deploy to specialized units or equipment to mitigate risk and enforce safety in affected neighborhoods? And also, how is the department addressing the issue of undocumented persons involved in illegal mining in Primrose under Operation Valumugodu, particularly with respect to arrest deportation process? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Mokoena. Honourable Muwela.
Negotiations myself, but as I understand the preparations, including the issues of accreditation.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair, and greetings to the Deputy Commissioner Msiligi and General Mtombeni, and thank you for the presentation and all the stakeholders that are present here, all honourable members from different portfolio committees which are involved with this petition. I think, Chair, let me join other honourable members to indicate and overemphasize that illegal mining in this country is a very serious concern that we need to bring all stakeholders together to be able to cap it, because it has serious economic implications for the country, not only economic, but it's got social impact, health impact. It affects our economies and our communities severely. I think I want to raise few questions with regard to the presentations that have been made by SAPS. I think the first question is with regard to what specific measures has the department taken to ensure that Operation Valamgoti effectively secures and permanently seals derelict and ownerless mine shafts in Primrose, Ekurhuleni, and what is the current status, number of shafts identified, number of sealed remaining of this process that they are undertaking? Are the syndicate existing in the mining area? What are the steps that have been taken to disrupt the syndicates behind illegal mining operations in Primrose? For instance, those charging fees to illegal miners to access mining areas. And are there investigations underway to hold such actors accountable? In view of the community concerns, noise, blasting, gunfire, damage to homes in Primrose stemming from illegal mining, what intergovernmental coordination in the municipal, provincial, or national and community engagement programs which have been established, and what resources have been allocated to support affected communities to be able to cap these particular incidences that are happening in our communities? So I just want to have also have an understanding that these everlasting implications or impacts that are affecting our communities, the civil society organizations that are found in our communities, what steps are they SAPS taking in order to have a thorough understanding? I understand that most of this might not be so mainly to SAPS, but through the community policing forum and community safety forums that are found in the communities, who understand these dynamics and these people who are found in our community who are doing illegal mining. What are the direct steps that are taken to bring all these stakeholders together to be able to cap this particular occurrence of illegal mining that impact our community and our society so severely, that which have a long-lasting effects that can go along close to 10 years or so? How are we dealing with these particular occurrences? Thank you very much, Chair. That will be my submission.
Thank you, Honorable Muela. Honorable Skosana.
Chair, I'm not sure whether you've asked me to speak or you just missed something there, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Skosana, your hand is up, so I'm just giving you an opportunity.
Of beneficiaries, G20, pre, during, and
Hold on a
post.
second. Honorable Muela, can you just mute your sound, please? There we go. Honorable Skosana, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chair. And good morning to all the, in fact, let me say all protocol observed. I've seen a lot of generals in here, you know, but I want to say as well to Brigadier Mwandle, a job well done, you know, in one of these chaps, which all those Amazamas were arrested there as well. But I must say this. the most important thing is that people who are supposed to be arrested are the gurus, who are the ones who are paying the zamazamas. Because for me, from where I'm sitting, I don't think that if there's no market for this illegal mining, we'll have this problem. The biggest problems we have people who are, some who are outside the country, some who are in the elite suburb of Cape Town and Johannesburg in particular, who are dealing with these zamazamas. For me, that's the most important thing which has to happen. The social cohesion as well, the issue of unemployment is used as an excuse. But the mining house, the big bosses, they need to rehabilitate these mines. There's a lot of mines, I can tell you, they find them, some of them don't even, or they are not even worried because they've got the money to pay those fines. Hence, we are having this problem of zamazamas in this country. But as we are a developing country, I think the government can do more, because we'll be blaming the police that they are not doing arrest. Some they arrest, the courts release the culprits. Now, we have to find ways. I mean, as lawmakers, we can't be point fingering to other people now. We have to come with solutions to make things easier for both men and women who are in blue. And soldiers as well, as you have seen, some soldiers were used in other operations. But indeed, for me, I think it will be proper for us to have a coordinated joint against sitting with other departments. Because most of these, I'm not saying South Africans are innocent, but most of this illegal mining are of Lesotho origin. Some Zimbabweans, some Mozambicans, and Malawians who've been in this country for many years, some who are experienced. You know, they are saying they are transferring skills. I had one in Boksburg in East Rand, one guy who approached me when I was parking my car. He wanted to sell me some illegal things. And I said to him, you wait here. You know, I was trying to make a call and the guy vanished. But I'm saying of his accent, you know, the way he was speaking to me, he was he was a brother from a nearby country in SADC. But as I said earlier, I think we'll make justice for our people if we can coordinate this thing and stop this illegal mining. It will take a little bit of time. But if we coordinate this thing together with other departments, and not only depend that police will resolve these matters and the Department of Mineral and Energies will resolve these matters, I can tell you we'll leave this servant administration without doing anything. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana. I then move to the Honorable Ngubeni.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and as well as colleagues. Am I audible? I've had issues with my audio this morning.
Yes, you are audible.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Chairperson. Mine are just a few questions, and I was listening to the presentation intently, and maybe I may have missed just a couple of things, and I want to echo especially what Honorable Mhlangwini postured in her remarks. The scope of illegal mining in our country. Does law enforcement have a sense as to the scope? Because I didn't get a sense that we actually know how many they are, to what extent we have this problem. Of course, we know it's a prevalent problem, but do we have a sense in terms of scale? And if we do, boots on the ground, we know that we have cross-border issues which are also quite rife, and we don't have enough boots on the ground. What level of resources are we putting into this? Because, we don't want a situation where we're waiting for Stilfontein or any other one of those critical conditions and circumstances where we are having to send
emergency resources to go and curb what has happened or what is happening at a particular point in time. I just want to get a sense as to whether we've got this with this thing handled. Also, those mines that are closed, where these activities are happening, were owned by somebody previously. You know, are we liaising with those previous owners to understand, you know, what was it that they did to ensure that those mines are secure? And obviously, this is organized crime and serious organized crime syndicates. You know, is this you know, do you have a scale as to who these people may be, or are they just totally faceless? Because it's a concern if in fact the public is going to feel as though we don't have a handle on crime in its totality in our country. I really would like to get a sense with that. And then also, you know, we know that there hasn't necessarily been a proper streamlining and also interministerial, intergovernmental cooperation between the various law enforcement agencies around our country. You know, how tight is, you know, intergovernmental cooperation between those who must curb this? And then I think finally, what is going to be critical, I did, you know, visit one of the areas where illegal mining is happening. And what we were met with there, you know, SAPS could not protect us. We had to actually flee here in Johannesburg. The amount of firepower that some of these miners have, is our law enforcement, you know, do we have capacity, capability to meet them at their level? Because, you know, we do deal with human rights. I mean, what do the police have to do? Do they return fire? What does this look like? Because the extent to which we can curb what is happening with illegal mining is going to be dependent on that. And then finally, just a comment around just alarm. That, you know, some of this is happening, you know, under our highways and under our homes and under our buildings. It's quite scary. And I don't know whether South Africans, you know, there's a process through which people can be secured, because, you know, what happens if somebody bombs my, you know, underneath my home? You know, what recourses do we have if we absolutely don't have a sense as to what is taking place? I think this is an important and very alarming issue. And I want to thank all of the chairpersons for having put this meeting together. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honourable Mgebeni. I then go to the last two questions or persons. First, it's the Honourable Chabaleng, if I'm correct, and then it's the Honourable Mofokeng.
Thank you, Chair, and good day to honourable members as well as the joint committee, you know, executives and chairs. Chair, I think maybe the key question to ask is, have we come to the point whereby as South Africa, we are normalizing crime and usually using this kind of language to say illegal mining, because it's a crime. You know, illegal mining should be categorized as a crime. And from that point of view, the police should be stepping in and taking action in respect to ensuring that this crime is prosecuted properly, you know. And it's actually now to even hear that there is a process whereby if people are caught in illegal mining process, including the issue of the Home Affairs, whereby people who are illegal in South Africa can be prosecuted within 2 days and matters can be finalized. This is something that we should actually fast track instead of just keep on debating it. You know, I think around February, March, we had a similar joint committee with the police, minerals, etc., where it was actually a discussion around the illegal mining relating to the 1,000 people that actually had been apprehended. We are coming back to the same situation, and it is good that actually the community that has brought this matter forward and has actually complained about it and petitioned, because if it is not for communities suffering, we would not hear about these issues and reports. But once again, you know, can the departments, particularly on the police side of it, as well as the minerals side of it, give us a clarity and understanding? One, in South Africa, if you steal something, minor crime, you are arrested immediately. But here we have a situation where people are stealing minerals illegally, and they are mining, and not only that, they are causing havoc in electricity supply as well as infrastructure. Not only that, they are going into private property with regards to mining sites that are currently hazardous and dangerous, and nothing happens. You know, we call it illegal mining, and then the whole thing goes on, and people are getting opportunities, and mostly given the fact that it's foreigners, foreign nationals. But at some point, I think we need to have a dedicated team. I can tell you another example. When we go for protests and marches, there is a tactical team that is deployed to every protest and march, highly technical, who can control crowds, many crowds of people, and they can even intervene at some point where they can even use firepower. Such tactical teams are never deployed when it comes to the area sites of illegal mining, where in the police and SAPS side of it, who can go there if there's a problem, they've just discovered that a group of people have moved into a site and they are doing illegal exploration and mining. And these people can be deployed into those sites and make sure that they tackle the challenges and bring out the people who have occupied those mines. You know, it's saddening that this is happening. South Africans, if they were to do this type of an activity, I can assure you, within a day or so, they will be arrested. We don't have any tolerance for people in South Africa on criminal levels. But here you have illegal immigrants, and you have people who are undocumented. You have people who openly go in there bearing arms, as well as threatening communities, and nothing happens. Chair, I think it's about time that this committee writes a very strong stand warning and report and ensure that we engage with the ministries. Unfortunately, the ministers are not here. They all have other important activities, but it is unacceptable that we are dealing with something this serious that we don't have heads of departments that are representing departments present. So I would really say from our point of view to say, we need drastic action taken. We need to see to it that this mining activities is stopped in terms of illegal mining. The culprits and people who are perpetrating these crimes are apprehended. Those that needs to be prosecuted properly must be prosecuted. Home Affairs must step in, as well as the Border Management Agency must step in to make sure that those that do not have paperwork and documentation are deported properly and are not allowed back access into South Africa after making sure that they're identified. We cannot continue having a problem. 1,000 people committing a crime a day on its own should raise an alarm, and we are too relaxed about it, and nothing is happening. So I think we need to really maybe say to the communities that we are very sorry that they have to experience this level of pain and harassment and unfortunate, sadness that even people are deciding on leaving the area. Businesses are closing down, but we cannot accept it, and we are saying that from a South African point of view, as public representative, this is a sad moment. And we're sorry that this is happening, but we want something drastically done, and the committee must take action. Thank you so much, Chair. Hey, Chair, your music.
There we go, sorry. Thank you, Honourable Member. I then go to the Honourable Mofokeng.
Thank you, Chairperson, and greetings to everyone on the platform. Let me also welcome and appreciate the presentation from General Mtombeni. I have only two questions, Chair, on the presentation. My first one, Chair, is that the presentation notes an increase in corruption within all spheres of government related to illegal mining. I would like to know then, Chair, are there any stats on this that can be shared with this meeting? And also, what mechanism have been proposed to counter these occurrences? Then my second one, Chair, is a significant challenge is the neglect by mining houses to secure and rehabilitate abandoned sites. And our portfolio committee, which is minerals, have been vocal about the underfunding of mine rehabilitation and closures. I would then like to know what regulatory or legislative mechanisms can we jointly propose to enforce greater accountability on mining companies to secure their properties, and what should be the consequence for non-compliance? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Then lastly, it's the Honourable Chair Mahlaule.
Thank you very much, Chair Cameron. I don't have questions. I've listened to genuine questions related to the minerals and petroleum. And I wanted to make a suggestion that we contemplated that this will come, and we asked the department to prepare a short presentation which will probably respond to some of the issues, or simply they can be afforded an opportunity to respond to which I think are genuine questions from honorable members directed to the department. Yes, Honorable Ntangwini, they are here. They are led by the DDG Muloto. So I don't know what you can do, Chairperson, but one of the two proposals, either they present their short presentation or they respond to the questions posed already. I just wanted to make that suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. No, I fully agree. I think if at all possible, that they can engage, then that would be ideal. That would be the perfect solution. And actually, probably the same for some of the other departments too that are of importance for the specific matter. For example, the role of Home Affairs is an important example. May I now give the opportunity to the South African Police Service to respond, from where we can then determine the way forward as well with regard to the engagement from the other departments too. General Musekile.
Thank you once more, Chair, and the chairpersons, co-chairpersons that are with you. Chair, I have noted all the questions, but I don't know, Chairperson, if you allow other departments, because other questions are not necessarily directed to the South African Police Service. In my opening remarks, I did indicate, Chairperson, that our response to illegal mining or the adoption of Operation Valumkoti, it's a multidisciplinary committee and intergovernmental coordination towards the illegal mining. As a result, we have adopted that plan and divided some of the responsibilities amongst ourselves. On the same plan or strategy, Chairperson, the first issue is dealing with the human settlement, which is the questions that came, I think, very sharply throughout the interaction in regards to the illegal occupation of the land, the illegal informal settlement, and so on and so forth, of which when we do attend to them, maybe not to a scale that we will want, we will do with the relevant department. Equally, on the report that General Mtombeni shared, Chairperson, as I have already alluded to, the multidisciplinary plan, some of the reports that are contained, it's on that multidisciplinary approach that was undertaken, and we wouldn't have a claim that this is the police successes or achievements. It is the joint achievements that relates, Chair, on the questions that came on the number of holes that were closed. So the South African Police Service, as a department, did not close their mines, do not have a capacity or capability to close. However, DMPR is responsible for that, and Advocate Muloto, as I've indicated, she is also sitting in all our meetings where we get the feedbacks from the operatives. She can confirm and attest. The statistics that has been reflected on this report was confined to the Ward 92 as we requested, but I think what also came throughout the meeting, appreciating as well the guidance as well as the inputs that came from the members of the committees,
It's the report that is also a multidisciplinary chairperson that was reflected in our report. And on the matters that are specifically directed to the province of Gauteng and the area, I will request General Mtombeni to respond to those questions that are directed. As of the first question from Honorable Lisa Shikeleng on the Bedford View, I think on the day in question we engaged, and all the necessary people, the leadership of Gauteng were engaged to attend to the matter. And the report that I got, Shikeleng, afterwards is that they will give attention to this police station and all the challenges that were highlighted. On the issues of training, Chair, as I've also indicated, that amongst the team that I'm having, we have the head of training with us. General Dr. Zulu will then outline what type of training are we having there. But we also have Major General Zulu, who is the component head of medium and high risk police capacity and capability, who is the project coordinator of Operation Valumkoti. We, as I've indicated earlier, we do not have enough personnel that we can deploy on a daily basis at all the areas. We have 7 provinces that we are addressing the illegal mining on Operation Valumkoti, and on these 7 provinces, there are multiplicity of areas that are affected. Therefore, we respond as and when. I think there was a question on how soon we respond. And in Gauteng, Chair, where this operation started and where this operation was focusing, as I've indicated, that what prompted this plan was the issues at Umzamo informal settlement, as well as the West Village in Krugersdorp. The team is close by and it responds as and when. I must say, when we started, when the budget was adequate and when the president has at the time approved the deployment of the SANDF members, Gauteng was flooded, and it was also attested that they were deployed. So we have deployed our special task force members, the National Intervention Unit, of which National Intervention Unit is still having footprints where it is required and when the intelligence suggests otherwise. And we do not have at the moment, Chairperson, because this plan was for 18 months, but because of the challenges that are still persisting at the illegal mining, we are continuing, including that provinces, as General Mtombeni has also alluded, have established within their own capacity and capability the focus group that is dedicated to respond to the illegal mining, that are working the issues of illegal mining on a daily basis. And this is done from their own budgets, not on the project budget. But the project as of now is still continuing and will continue, Chairperson, as and when we get enough funding to deploy from national to different parts of the country. In regards to the issues of complaint, again, they are very focused. I think Honorable Michelle did alluded to the fact that police station is the first point where we go. General Mtombeni, on the issues of where will people have to go, or whether as the management of Gauteng we are aware of people being turned away because we are not capable, not being referred. General Mtombeni will talk to that as well, Chairperson. The issues of the access to explosives, I'm not sure, General Zulu, if we, on the explosives that we have already confiscated, if we do know, but Chairperson, we can provide this in writing if we were able to link them to a particular company where it was issued. But from time to time, when some of this is confiscated, I think we do receive the reports that they may not be the local. Hence, Chairperson, one question was, what are we doing on the porosity of our borders? We do have capacity as the police in the borders that we were requested that we should vacate the space, or we should have another work methodology within the borderline. But because of the problems that are continuing and that are persisting in the border, we still have our border police that are deployed, and from time to time they are engaging in having some of the operations that they are doing collaboratively with the BMA and other units and law enforcement agencies in that space, including the South African Defence Force that is there permanently. It's working. So we work with them, and some of the confiscations are as a result of those operations that are happening in the borders to ensure that we root out this type of resources that are coming. Chair, in 2-3 weeks back, we had the regional conference with the Interpol, where some of the issues that are here were also highlighted with the working groups that are there, and it's part and parcel of our discussion from time to time within the SADC country, including other countries. And we do send our members to other countries to go and learn how other countries are doing. I think the Honorable Chair also alluded to the fact that Tanzania is having a specific approach when they deal with this. So we do consider some of these blueprints, and we incorporate them in our plans and try to see the implementation thereof, or to request. But I think the advice that was given has been noted, and it will be implemented. Chairperson, I think I was just responding on the general questions, and General Mtombeni and General Zulu, the doctor, will respond on those specific issues. And I will come back if there is any other matter that is left out. Through you, Chair, if I can request General Mtombeni first, and then General Zulu to follow. Thank you very much. I submit.
Once more again, thank you, Honorable Chairpersons, Honorable Members. Quick on follow-up of the questions. Honorable Schickling, in respect of training, I think General Zulu will give a hindsight on that one. So, yeah, I think let me leave it that one. The other question is to say, on my presentation, I indicated the issue of corruption as a province in terms of how many members were arrested. Based on our statistics we're having for financial year 2024-2025 in relations to corruption, which is not necessarily direct linked to the issues of illegal mining as a province, we managed to arrest our own for corruption is 46. And the other issue which it was put forward is the issue of the coordination in terms of this illegal mining rehabilitation. I should think the Department of Mineral Petroleum Resources will be in a position to can give effect to that. Then Honorable Mishwe, what I can say as the Provincial Commissioner, I would say it is indeed a disturbing, Honorable Member, where you have to go to the police station where you think in the country is the most safest place. You are told that people cannot help. In instances where we normally get these issues where the police station are unable to can respond accordingly, they escalate these matters to the province. For example, I had one incident relating to illegal mining in Klopper Park. We this issue was escalated to us, and we're in a position to take our drone team. And by the way, we're having trained pilots drones. We deployed them within that space in order to do a forecast or to look in terms of the activities. And at the later stage, we get in there, we pounce with our specialized force, and we're in a position to can arrest people. If my memory serves me well, I think on that aspect, we managed 4 firearms with quite a number of rounds in that space. So having said that, one would have to go deeper in terms of this. If we can also interact with the honorable member, in terms of the honorable member who have reflected this, so that we can remedy the situation in terms of ensuring that communities, when they go to the police station, they get assisted in terms of these issues, and highly probable will take appropriate steps where necessary, which might relate to the departmental steps. How many successful operations for Valimgodi, how many holes were closed? As I have reflected on the presentation, I reflected to say the stations which are almostly in Ekurhuleni proximity to Primrose, in Benoni we close 170, but I must indicate that the closure of these holes, we are led by Department of Minerals, Petroleum Resources. We work closely together. Those 170 were closed in Benoni, and then 34 were closed in Alberton. For this financial year, which is 2024-2025, we are, of course, in Primrose as a focus area. They have identified 11 of those, of which it will be closed in due course. And when it gets closed, it's an integrated multiplicity operations which we engaged there, including your national intervention, the brigadier who was cited by honorable members Kosani, if I'm not mistaken, Mwang. Then the issue of the explosive door, the DNC have answered that. I've interacted with my provincial head responsible for Criminal Record Center crime scene management. The explosives which we get on the main and even the last ones, as a Criminal Record Center crime scene management, they come and collect these explosives, as they are explosive in its nature. One could indicate that they are commercial explosive. And on our discussions with my provincial head, he confirmed that these explosives are from our neighboring country. The majority of them, they are from Zimbabwe, of which we have reflected the challenge of porous borders, which we have to be on the main looking into that. The other issue is that our Criminal Record Center crime scene management, in terms of the storage facilities within the province, in terms of systematic managing, inspecting, and making sure that those explosives which have to be issued for legal mining, the process flow is undertaken, and make sure that we deal with those issues in ensuring that there must be no explosives which gets into the wrong hands. How many maybe let me leave that one. Our best migration can address by means. Okay, let me leave that one. Let me go to Honorable Manaka. The Meadowdale shaft, which is in a Primrose, I think I've tried to reflect on that one to say the department which is leading in terms of closing of the mines of those holes is the Department of Petroleum Resources. This plan, which we are reflecting, is in conjunction with them for Primrose 2025-2026, this Meadowdale. There is 11 identified, of which will work systematically. I even indicated the deployment in terms of a specialized workforce. Ghost workers linked to the mine. One cannot really confirm on this one, but if we are given maybe a specific mine where these issues are happening, we can try and link with the mine houses and look as to say how best can we deal with that if it's a challenge from their side. But we can really we're working closely with those mine houses. We also had these South African Rescue Services. I think General Zulu will be in a position to can deal with that. Honorable James, the issue of closing of the holes, I've indicated that. Case docket breakdowns. On the slide number 19 on our presentation, for example, it's clearly reflected 39 arrests, but we can indeed make a submission in writing and make a breakdown in terms of those arrests. The mining house companies, do you monitor after the closure? One can say, yes, indeed, we do, together with the Department of Minerals, Petroleum Resources. For example, this one in Benoni, where we closed 170. We went there on the 27th of July. I was in that space. I should think what is important is that the owners of the land, or if it's the mining houses, they're supposed to make sure that they fence off that area. That area is not fenced, but as and when we work in that space, initially it was like a village which is used for processing center with a lot of structures. We arrange with the Ekurhuleni municipality. They brought in the graders, and then we leveled those, because in that space, people were not staying it, they were doing the processing center in that respect, and then it helped us in terms of dealing with that. Honorable Hlangweni, open holes, I think I've touched on that one. Primrose as well, I've touched on that one. Honorable Mukwena, deployment of workforce in Primrose, specialized one. As I've indicated that we covered it on slide number 12, as we were depicting the issues of the 5 pillars approach. That the third pillar is a rapid response, a hardcore approach, where I even said we're doing the waylays because some of these holes, they get guarded by these people in affected areas. And when we do waylays, Brigadier Muandla, they do that in a private clothing, and we are in a position to act swiftly in terms of these issues in a form of a national intervention, your TRT, as I have reflected also the arrest, like your 39 firearms which we got within that space. Honorable Muilwa, what are specific measures in place? I think we have reflected on that one in terms of the 11 holes. And the existence of the syndicates, one would say, I touched it to say we're hitting hard on these the actors. I even said when I presented level 3 to 5, I have reflected some of the activities which is undertaken by the Hawks to say in Primrose, in terms of the preservation orders. On the 27th of April, we managed to get an order which was granted for a cash seizure amounting to over 3 million. And this has also to do with the order granted for gold to the value of 785,000, as well as over 550 money earned through Section 252. I've even given an example to say during April, there were 3 suspects arrested in Boysen in possession of 3.75 kg gold worth of 5,700,000 grams of platinum worth 500,000. In this process of arrest, we also got the cash to the value of 5.12 million. So these issues of the syndicate, they are dealt in that particular sense by our DPCI or the Hawks intergovernmental process. Yeah, I think I've touched on that. Home Affairs, Department of Mineral Petroleum Resources, the Labor Department, your local municipality. We are indeed coming together and work together. The people who found in our communities illegal mining, those who are staying, maybe one has to reflect to say during the provincial Shanyela, where we also address the issues of illegal mining because we go to those spaces, one will say we interact with the community. But one of the issues is that you'll find that some of these illegal miners, they are staying within the community, and it's not something which one can remove them from the community because they are staying there. And in some other instances, as we put our intelligence there, when you have in the meeting, some of the community, you could see that they are unable to speak. But the issue is that in the space of illegal mining, we are in a position to can deal with them precisely. Honorable Kosani, we appreciate for that input. And Honorable Ngobeni, the issue of mine close, I think I've covered on that one. The use of firepower, I think slide number 13 with those pillars which I've reflected to say national intervention, our technical response team. And the other thing, the drones is assisting us. We deploy them so that we can see how to deal with that. Honorable Chabelin, the issue which one can address here is the illegal mining arrest. I think I've addressed also this one, Honorable Member, where I reflected in terms of the arrest, in terms of our presentation. Slide number 19, illegal immigrants 251. When it goes further there, we reflected 39 firearms. We reflected the drugs there, 188. Then almost the last one, Honorable Mfukeni, corruption is a challenge. I've responded on that one in terms of those arrest of members, those not necessarily within that space. Honorable Chairpersons, thank you for the opportunity.
General Zulu, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. And the camera. I'm struggling with the camera this side. Thank you, Chairperson. I'm not sure whether I'm audible on that side, Chairperson. I'm struggling with the...
You're audible, General. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Chairperson, and good afternoon to the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the honorable members, and then the leadership of SAPS led by Deputy National Commissioner Sekedi. I will just ask, answer the questions related to training. Maybe I must start on the first part to say SAPS has approved an illegal mining learning program. And as General Mtombeni indicated that he is engaging with the division Sharpti for submission of their needs so that we can train their members, but we do have the program. And some of the questions they were linked to say what is then we're doing in terms of dealing with that, dealing with the illegal. The learning program focuses in all the environment of the SAPS, especially that has to deal with the illegal mine. Firstly, it touches the legal framework and in terms of legal framework that govern the issues of mining and other related issues when it comes to mining. And it also looks in terms of how do we do the prevention part, which touches on the areas of visible policing. It also touches on the operational response teams. How should the operational response teams, which are highly trained for the high-risk areas, what they are expected in terms of dealing with illegal mining. It also looks in terms of the investigation part, which touches the issue of the detectives, as well as the issue of forensic services when it touches also with the chemicals and all the tool of trades that are utilized by the illegal miners. And it also ties also on the information, the collection of intelligence, so that we can deal with illegal mining. And then lastly, it also talks about the issue of DPCI as they are dealing with the organized crime in this matter. And the role players that were involved in this program, other than the SAPS, we had external role players that were involved during the analysis of the training needs, what this program should cover. Those role players, they participated, what should be in the program in terms of the training needs, and also assisted in the design and the development of the learning program. Some of the members that were deployed by different departments, it included the Department of Justice. We had NPA that was represented when we were designing this program. We had Minerals Councils for SA South Africa. We had Home Affairs. We had SAPS, Border Management. We had National Intelligence Coordinating Committee. You had the United Nations Interregional Crime and Justice Research Institute, and we also have the members that were coming from the Department of Mineral Resource and Energy and in the mining industry. Were involved in terms of what should be on the training needs, and then the design as well as the development of the program, what should be included. Some of the information were assisted by these participants in terms of the content as they were dealing with the development. The program that we are presenting, it covers some of the issues that the committee members they were asking if the training will ask, especially when it comes to the issues of identification of the illegal mining threats, which it talks about the structure of illegal mining groups. It looks in terms of how these illegal mining groups are functioning. It also looks in terms of the commodities that are involved across RSA, which also the platinum group, metals, the diamonds, and then the difference between legal and illegal mining, and the methods of mining used by illegal miners. It touches during in the topic where we're dealing with the commodities. We also look in terms of the use of different equipment during illegal mining, and then also the explosive and the devices that are being utilized, so that whenever they do whether we are detective or crime prevention or intelligence, we are able to understand what is happening around the commodities, because it can give you some leads. We also had, we look in terms of the methods to identify regular or repeat offenders and the trends and the tendencies in terms of illegal mining. And then we've got a content that provides the whole chapter on the methods to identify regular and repeat offenders, trends and tendencies. We also look in terms of the level of syndicates across the illegal mining. We look in terms of the individual criminal miners, the local gang bosses, the buyers of stolen precious metals, in the region, the front company export based on South Africa, and some of the SADC countries. And we also look in terms of the international refiners and intermediary companies in the SAGEC as we present this particular program. And when we go to the next chapter, we're looking in terms of the preventing and combating of an investigation of illegal mining incidents. We look in terms of the roles and responsibilities of the stakeholders and the role players. In the roles and the responsibilities of the stakeholders and the role players include the SAPS department as a department, and the different environments of SAPS, which include visible policing, your crime intelligence, your DPCI, your detectives, and the forensic. But there are also people that are outside the SAPS that were looking at their roles during the dealing with illegal mining, which include your SARS, your SNDF, your NPA, your NICOC, your mining companies, the Mining Council, the Financial Intelligence Center, the Department of Mineral Resource and Energy, DECO, and Department of Home Affairs. These are some of those that were, when we give the key role players, we include what is their role in assistance that can be of assistance in dealing with the illegal mining. And then we also look in terms of the criminal records center inside, as well as the explosive unit. They assist to say what can then be able to assist us in terms of detecting the illegal mining. And then also we look in terms of investigation of the court-driven illegal mining in the incidents. So we are also sharpening our skills for the investigators to know what is required in this particular problem. We also look in terms of the actions required when illegal mining activities are identified, which look in terms of the reporting illegal mining activities, the consulting with the different regulatory framework that can be able to assist us in terms of detecting crime, and then also being able to bring the perpetrators into justice. We look also on the issues surrounding the process of application for search and search warranty in terms of illegal mining. We look in terms of the charge sheets, how to compile the charge sheets when they are dealing with the issues of illegal mining. We also provide the guidelines and the hints for testifying in court when it comes to illegal. And some of the issues also that we cover in terms of management of illegal mining incident information. We talk about on the organized crime threats analysis process, which is commonly known as OCTA. And then that is also what it directs in terms of how we deal as illegal mining as organized crime. We also look in terms of administration process of a case docket, which is linked into illegal mining. We give the members in terms of what is need to be done. The role of the record keeping and monitoring of investigations and the prosecution of illegal mining incidents, they are also covered here on this program, which also highlight to some of the systems that we are already having in the SAPS. We also utilize those systems to say how can they utilize also as part of keeping the record and monitoring these investigations of illegal mining. And then we continue, we go through the illegal mining related meetings. There are meetings that are there that are sitting, and then we guide them to see what type of the meetings that are there and what is expected from this meeting. So this is the program, which is a program that is covering these learning areas and in different chapters. And I must say that this program, the only part that is not covering is for training the members to go underneath at the ground, which the team that, as I understand it, indicated that we had the external role players in this committee, and I shared the committee on the mining training side, and there was also another subcommittee that was dealing with the development. The issue of going underground, it was the issue of the mandate and the skills of SAPS. Therefore, and the work of SAPS versus everybody. That these are the things that then they advise to say, let us stop it here until they finalize how can they be, it can be as can SAPS be assisted in terms of these issues of going underground, as is beyond their mandate. So that's why we finalized the program without having any program that is training our members to go underground the mining. So that is what I can just say. It's covered in the program. I think some of the questions were coming in a question, but in the program it's covered. It's being highlighted, and that is the end of the story. We will be training the Gauteng, as General Mtombeni requested, that we must assist with the training. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. As I have alluded, I think other areas will then resort to other departments. And as I have also indicated earlier, that there are comments that were made on the way forward, I think on the question of specialized capability and capacity. It came from a number of members, Honorable Zondi, I think Honorable James, Honorable Mukwena, as well as from Honorable Muwela, in regards to having trained, as General Zulu is indicating, Chair, what we are looking at lessons learned from Operation Valungoti is to look at that specialized capacity and capability that all provinces can have, perhaps for starters, a small team that will be able to respond, but the level of training to overcome that gap, Chair, that is where I have indicated that our response to illegal mining since the inception of Operation Valungoti is to also collaborate with other experts, and mine security is one of those that we utilize them very well, and they cooperated very well with us during the Stilfontein and any other areas where we require their capacity and capability. So we are not folding our arms in terms of us having to respond, but we do seek assistance where we have that capability and capacity within the area, and we collaborate and work with. I think the other question that I wanted to come up with at this point is the success of Operation Valungoti that came from Honorable Mishwe. I do have a chairperson will recall that we do have this point as a standing point of the agenda at the JCPS, and we did at some point give a breakdown to the committee, especially our committee, in respect of the successes. What I can highlight at this point shortly, I think other members also wanted to know whether these operations are successful. Countrywide at the 7 provinces where we are having this operation, to date, Chairperson, we have recorded 24,191 cases. This will include people that are illegal in the country. It will include the possessions. It will include those that are found with firearms, and it will include cases that General Nkosi, who is also in the meeting from the Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation, can allude to, Chairperson, maybe that this is inclusive of all these cases. And to date, Chairperson, from the inception of Operation Valungoti, 30,200 persons have been arrested from these 24,000 cases, and the dockets that were referred to court or that are still on the court roll at this point is 9,845. The people that were found guilty on the cases that were finalized out of those total of 24,191, it's 7,577. And my colleague from the Department of Home Affairs, who is also in a meeting, can also attest to or confirm the numbers in respect of people that were deported to date. The only challenge that we are having, I think it came as well, it's been noted that we look at when we do the review of the operations, or as and when we are proceeding with our operations, is to tighten some of the things. We have another committee that we have established, chair, that is only focusing at the border. We have the border priority committee through the NAT joints that is only focusing at the border management challenges, so that we can also mitigate on some of these areas. I do have the report as well that will give the impact of the operation, and in the nutshell, I can say up to date, Chairperson, with what we have managed to establish, one can say yes, we are successful, because we manage also to retrieve and confiscate a number of firearms, number of equipment in the country, 760 firearms that include 101 military type or the replica firearms were also confiscated, 17,581 ammunitions and 544 magazines. This is some of the issues that came out of this operation countrywide. We also have confiscated trucks, Chair, to the amount of 409 trucks of those people that were operating in that, and they were confiscated to the state. The cash amount at the face value of the trucks and some of the minerals that were confiscated are standing at 8,167,000 and 22,000 of uncut diamond. This is just at from level 1 to 2 of this criminal value chain. But if we can combine that with the preservation orders that General Mtombeni was talking, not only in Gauteng, the amount goes further than this. Chairperson, let me pause there. If you will take other departments, otherwise I think my colleagues that are here who are part of Operation Balumkoti can respond to some of the questions that are very specific to their departments, Chairperson. Lastly, before I go back, I think it came again from Honorable Ngubeni on the issues of how tight is this operation. It came from number of questions as well. Is that with the NAT Joint Committee that is dealing with the Operation Balumkoti, or the joint operations that are being undertaken throughout the country. We believe, Chairperson, that we can do more, but we are doing all that we can with the resources that we are having, including the request to continue with Operation Balumkoti because of the number of cases that are coming, including that impact study that was done with the first 18 months. Hence, we are continuing to coordinate and work collaboratively from national to the district level insofar as this particular sketch is concerned. I submit, Chairperson.
Thank you, General Musekile and the team. I would like to ask the other chairpersons just for input regarding feedback from the other departments. I think this can go on for a very, very long time due to the sheer amount of information and the fact that so many different departments play a role. If I may start to get the opinion from the Honorable Maglaule and just hear how you think we should go forward. My thoughts, let me maybe just say, is that we have 7 days after today for the report coming out of the session regarding the petition. Then we will obviously need to distribute that, etc. But one of the suggestions is that the relevant departments can answer to the different chairpersons and their committees for us to then incorporate that into the bigger report. Chair, can I go to you first? And from there, I'll go to the other chairpersons.
Thanks, Chair. I did make a proposal, and I was waiting for the meeting to see how that can be done. Either responses are given now for the questions that were asked, or a short presentation is made, which I'm assured will deal with the questions that were asked by honorable members, and then we can be able to incorporate it into a report. So it's my proposal. I don't know how the meeting feels about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we go to the Honorable Shabane?
No, thanks, Chair. I'll also try to request to switch off the video again. I think I will support the proposal that is carried by Honorable Mahlaule for the team to respond. We could have at least established when the meetings started the departments that are invited and the stakeholders to do presentation in relation to the petition. And I also wanted to agree with the Honorable Nhlangwini. She has raised a point. Fortunately, the team is here of minerals. Unfortunately, most of the issues which are being raised, some lies at the Department of Home Affairs in the Immigration and also Border Management Authority. And I will suggest, Chair, that we may need to consider that before the report is being presented, so that also the meeting able to interact with the Immigration section or Home Affairs and the Border Management Authority. And I think most of the issues we tend to apportion to the police, where there are other critical issues that lies with this department. So I'll propose, Chair, that there may be a need to deal with these issues, because there are lessons that we have drawn in the joint session like this, and the oversight that was carried, for example, in Limpopo in the area of Begersfort. And I think the same petition details also expose the challenges I face in Bergenek there in Polokwane. It's the same area. So I'll propose that the law enforcement agencies, and I'm not sure how I'm going to summarize, but it's important that a report of all the law enforcement agency on this subject matter, and the decision that will be coming, at least we can then own up. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. May I then go to the Chairperson of Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'll request that I switch off my video for bandwidth. Chair, listening to all the questions and the comments that were made by the honorable members, and also the report from police, it is glaringly clear that we are dealing with a symptom of various problems, and they span outside the scope of a single department. So it needs all departments that were mentioned here to come forth. And Chair, without addressing the identified root causes and drivers of illegal mining, we will not see any progress. So I think from our side, this joint meeting should be a start of cooperation towards resolving cross-cutting issues. So also from us as environment, earlier I heard that the DG of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment is part of the meeting, Ms. Nomfundo Chabalala. Definitely, as this portfolio committee, we will also ask some questions to the DG on what is it that our department is doing insofar as this issue of illegal mining is concerned, and what are the environment impacts that are affecting the communities at large in all the areas that were mentioned here. So it really needs all of us, and also in Honorable Mohlaule's remarks, he mentioned some of the departments that were not invited in this meeting. So I think we all need to come together and deal with the issue. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Fully agreed. So may I then propose that we get the relevant written responses on questions that are possible, and then propose to do a follow-up meeting. We can also liaise with each other beforehand and ensure that every relevant department is included. Anyone additionally that we might feel is missing. And then also in terms of the, as the previous chair also stated, to start resolving on the cross-cutting issues. And it's also clear that in terms of the challenges named or mentioned today, some of them are quite a bit more complex than only the policing issues. So there are many other matters to take into consideration. I would like to then propose that we liaise with each other to determine any additional questions or questions that were asked today to be answered in the meantime in writing by the other departments, so written responses, and then propose that we do a follow-up meeting. And then I would also like to ask the petitioners or give them a 1-minute opportunity after the discussion today to maybe add or say what their expectation is. It will also give us a better idea that when we give feedback, what the request from the petitioners are. So may I ask one or both of the councillors in 30 seconds to a minute to maybe just share what your request in terms of the petition is.
Thank you, Chair. It's Councillor Wendy.
Thank you, Councillor Morgan. You're welcome to go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for the presentation. It's really been quite eye-opening for us that, you know, there is stuff happening in the background which we don't see on the ground. And we'd really like to give proper feedback to our communities once you've done your report, and, you know, that they know that you are trying to do things, and fully agree all the departments need to be involved in this. But we really appreciate the work that has already been put in. And we look forward to seeing the report so that we can then share with our communities and they can become aware of what is happening in the background.
Colleagues, I understand that we have then reached the point where we can almost close the meeting. I just want to ensure that the fellow chairs are comfortable with what we have proposed, so the follow-ups, to do written responses and then arrange the follow-up meeting. And obviously, the relevant secretaries will be able to assist in coordinating such. Chairs, are you comfortable with me closing?
Yes, Chair, I'm comfortable.
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you then to all of the committees that joined today and for assisting in making the process run smoothly, for all the honourable members for your input and questions. I hope that those which were asked regarding the South African Police Service specifically were answered. We would need to, for our follow-up meeting, have a considerably longer amount of time to include all of the different departments as well, and we will certainly do that. I want to thank everyone. Thank you to the other chairpersons as well, General Musekile and the team, and to all of the other departments that also attended today. Thank you for the input and for the discussion. The meeting is closed.
Thanks, everybody. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson, for the lovely day.
Thank you, Chairperson.